Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. This show is a real estate show, and what a crazy real estate market. Are
Oh my
interest
gosh.
rates up or are they down? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? I don't know. So we've asked an expert to come in, Julia Tadich from Clovis First Real Estate Services, Inc.
Hi. That's right. We are incorporated.
That's a lot of questions I have.
It is.
Like, they say interest rates went up, but they don't seem very high to me.
Well,
I mean, I bought
I
at
just-
9% when I bought my first
I just
house.
closed on a house at 5.75.
Isn't that good?
And
I
the
thought that's
difference in
good.
the payment, when he could have had $1,000 a month payment, the payment's like $3,000 a month.
Hmm.
And it's just, to me, that's what, it's the payment. It's
Right.
the taxes and insurance payment. It hurts because we were in such a low interest rate
Yeah.
for so long. And now I was here before, we talked about this. It really hurts. I
But-
don't think they're gonna go back down though.
But when they're low, you couldn't get a house. It was so competitive to get a
Yes.
house. You had to pay 50,000 over the asking price sometimes to get a house.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. In
Not
fact, the
anymore.
house that we just closed on yesterday, they wanted 349, and we looked at the house before, and the guy went and looked at other stuff, and I finally said, "Hey, Joe, you know what? You don't deserve to live in this neighborhood." He says, "What about that other house?" I said, "Well, let's go see if it's still available." And so we went and looked, went back by it, made an offer at 330, and we
Wow.
got it for 330, 19,000 off.
It's not so competitive for the buyer then.
No, it's not. But sellers, their agent said 349, and so I don't want to come off that.
Right.
But if you just got to make an offer,
Right.
keep going. I mean, we've got houses on the market that still have yet to get offers on them,
Mm.
and they've had probably 30 showings. Probably the price is too high. We agree the price is too high,
Yeah.
but that's up to the seller. Make an offer. Make an offer. You might be surprised.
What about you help people get loans?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're really good at that.
I sell houses and I do loans, and I'm very creative with
Creative at it,
loans. Down payment assistance programs, whatever is gonna help the buyer get into them. Unfortunately, there's not a lot out there. If you do a CalHFA, the interest rates are your payment's so high, it drives
Mm.
me crazy. Where somebody could sit down and figure out how to make this better, but
Right.
that's not happened yet. But,
But you get people qualified and you help them get loans and
Right.
all this stuff, CalHFA, all these things. I don't know what all that means. I don't want to know. I want
Jumbled.
you to know. You're
Right.
the expert.
Yes.
She's the expert.
Yes.
That's who you should
I
get.
think I'd like to take people, and for an example, the guy that just closed him, the girl, she said, do an FHA loan because you'll get a better interest rate, and that's true. And we almost did an FHA loan for him. But it worked out that we actually did a 5% down FHA, which gave him a lower MI. And then they lowered the MI, the mortgage insurance they cut it in half. It really, they just had a great adjustment to that. There's been a lot of movement in the market for first-time home buyers especially. They've been removing a lot of the things that caused the interest rates to be higher, required down payment higher, or the mortgage insurance to be higher for first-time home buyers. They've made a lot of headway in that. So if you got qualified a year ago, you need to go back and redo it because things are better now.
You mean if they got a loan, go back and redo your loan?
Or let's say that a year ago, we were all charged up to go buy a house and never found a house, but the lender said this is how much you can qualify for. Things have happened this last year in lending to make the loans easier and better for first-time homebuyers. And being a first-time homebuyer, this is really shocking, is not owning a house for the last 3 years
Mm-hmm.
that you lived in.
Oh, you don't have to
You
literally.
could have owned a rental house this whole time that you rented out to somebody else, but you're not living there.
You don't have to literally be a first-time home buyer.
Well, yeah, you could put it that way, but that is the definition of a first-time
So
home
if
buyer.
you own a house and you haven't lived there for years, you could still get a first-time home buyer loan.
Right,
Okay. Wow.
correct. Or if you lived in a mobile home,
Mhm.
that's another good one,
Yeah.
that's not considered a house. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
Yeah. Regardless, ask Julia Tadich. She'll tell you.
Well, you know what, and I run into the funniest situations. Call me. I mean, people think they can't do things, and they'll meet me at an open house, and I'll start talking to them, and I'll find out what they're concerned about was not ever even a problem.
Right.
Or they think they have bad credit, or they think that something in their past is going to just hound them forever. And really, that's just not how this works.
That's what I mean about talking to an expert.
Right, exactly.
By the way, everybody thinks they're an expert.
And
Julie has been doing this for a couple of
everybody
years.
has friends that are in real estate. I'm gonna go to my friend,
Yeah.
they have their license.
Right.
And I'm not demeaning those people by any means. In fact, some people out there, like title people, just call me to ask me questions
Yeah.
because they know that probably somehow along the line I came across that same problem, or I know how to figure out how to make that better.
Yeah. Can I ask how many years you've been doing this?
Almost 40.
40 years, yeah.
Mm.
That's how you become an expert at something,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
Now-
it's not so much the years, it's the amount of transactions.
Mhm.
I've done a lot of transactions, all over the place.
Right. Now, if somebody wants to reach you, where do they start?
559-977-3583. I answer my
977-3583.
phone when it rings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who answers? Your secretary?
No,
You
me.
answer directly,
do.
yeah.
Or
Don't
one
buy a
of my
house from somebody
grandkids.
who's not answering their own phone. You want to
Oh,
reach Julia.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
These people are working in teams. It's like, you know, who's actually doing the transaction if you're working in a team?
Right, exactly. And is there a website? I thought I saw a website.
Clovis first, it's CLOVIS CLOVIS.com.
Okay.
Real simple, CLOVIS.com, Clovis.
Now,
Duck.
I want to ask you this question. I heard it the other day out there. Somebody was saying, well, you know, I was going to sell before COVID, but my house, I owed more than it was worth. And, you know, 3 years have gone by. I don't know what my house is
Oh,
worth.
that's
Can you help
scary.
with that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can help somebody find out what their house is worth.
Absolutely.
What do you charge for that?
Nothing.
You don't charge anything for that?
No. Do people charge for that?
Okay. I don't know.
No, no. In fact, and not only do I not charge for it, I can show them how they can go look in their area by themselves. If they don't really want to talk to somebody about it, I can give them some information so they can very easily go and
Figure it
figure
out.
that out themselves. But I
People
am
always ask me
really
about
happy.
Zillow or Willow or something
no,
like that.
No.
That's not a really way to find where your house is
Don't
worth.
go, no. Actually, the best way to go is to the recorder's office.
Well, if Julia will tell you for free, why would you go to those sites with
Exactly.
somebody you don't know? So,
Right, right.
two houses that seem like the same square footage and same model, one could be falling apart and the other could be pristine.
So true.
Yeah, and Zillow can't, I'm not saying anything against Zillow, but those sites can't really make
No,
that distinction.
no, people still look at that stuff.
Yeah.
I know that they do, but it's, you really, best way to get an idea as to what your house is, to actually see what things are selling for in your neighborhood. They actually closed escrow for
Right,
in your area.
right.
Because sellers are tellers, buyers are liars. But all that stuff is recorded.
Yeah.
So, and I can go see where it's recorded, and I can show you where you can go look and see where it's recorded. It's not hard.
Well, I talked to somebody the other day, they said, well, the house up the street is for sale for $500,000. I said, well, it's for sale, it's been for sale for a year, it's not worth $500,000.
It's not sold yet.
Right, it hasn't sold, so the values come from actual sales.
Right, well, just like the house I was talking about, the $349 was the asking price. It was on the market for a year.
Yeah,
We made an offer for $330, and the seller accepted the offer, so that's $19,000 right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And that's real common.
okay,
Real
so make
common.
an offer.
Yes, and if you want to go look at a house, we have access to everything.
Every house for sale by any agent.
Right, exactly. And even if, I noticed I got notified of a house that was going up for auction in the Tower District.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, well, I want to see who the agent is that has the listing on it.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's not listed.
Not listed,
Yeah,
wow.
so people get email, those blasts
Yeah,
from these companies. I don't even know who these companies are.
yeah, I don't,
So you just can't trust them. You need to call somebody that you know and can trust. And
wait,
hey, I'm not gonna ding you or charge you or anything else. I'm gonna give you information so you can decide what you want to do, and it'll be
Okay.
accurate information. That's really in the process of buying a house, is you need as accurate of information as you can get hold of.
you know, for every day for about 6 months, I got a call from a different person every day saying, we'd like to buy your home.
Oh, that's another racket.
Why would I want to sell my home? And so I've talked to people in the community. Yeah, this guy called. He wants to give me some sort of.
Right.
Don't talk to them. Call
Right.
Julia
Yeah,
Tadich.
that's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. I wonder how many people got sucked into that and
Yeah.
gave up their houses for nothing.
For nothing,
Because
yeah.
they really, those people are not paying market rate.
Yeah, and I feel like they bought a list somewhere, and they're just calling everybody on the list. And
Yes.
so I got mad, because
I think I got one of those calls again today. I'm
Okay.
like, they want to buy my house that I live in, that
Yeah.
we've turned into my office. I'm
the
like,
best real
and I'm
estate
a
agent
real
in
estate
town, and they're
broker.
trying to buy her house.
Yes, yeah,
You're calling
right.
the wrong person. By the way, Julie, I know this. She gives free advice. So if somebody is calling you or trying to tell you something, call Julia. She'll straighten it out for you.
Well, and maybe what they're telling you is true, but heck, how can you trust it?
Yeah, right. Julia is free. Call her
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah, call me on my cell phone, 559-977-3583.
Yeah.
I will answer it.
I could talk to you for hours, Julia,
That's-
because you're way more fun than.
Well, thank you.
I was going to say the next guy's name, but I'm not saying the name. Yeah. Julia Tadich. And
They'll
anything
be able to
else?
figure it out, though, if they watch
They
your
will. They
show.
keep watching.
I know him. He's a nice guy.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else you want our viewers to know? We're way past time.
No, I tell you what, it's seconds on houses with these great interest rates. I do seconds. There's so many things out there. Talking to clients and figuring out what is the best thing for them.
Right.
What is the best?
Right.
Maybe a second isn't a good. Maybe there's a rate that will give them something where they can get rid of all their debt and turn it all into the same payment.
Yeah. If you think you know, I bought 2 whole houses in my whole life. I'm not an expert. Go to an expert. She's done thousands and thousands of transactions.
Probably it's been that many.
Yeah.
I counted. I should have probably counted a long time ago.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you,
I'm
Mike.
asking you one more question. Julia Tadich, Clovis First Real Estate, and your phone number is?
559-977-3583.
We'll be back with more real estate and home improvement right after this.
Thank you.